You know, when a school district gets its report card from the state, that's a huge deal. But what happens when one of the biggest districts in Texas just keeps acing the test, year after year? It really makes you wonder, right? How are they pulling it off? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to decode Frisco ISD's top grade and see what's really going on. So it all boils down to this one single letter, an A. For the 2024-25 school year, Frisco ISD has officially earned an A rating from the Texas Education Agency. And yeah, that is the absolute highest grade a district can get. And here's the thing, this isn't a one-off. Nope, this is the third year in a row that Frisco has nailed this top mark. You know, getting that kind of consistency, especially when you're talking about a district this size, that's just incredibly rare. And that's really the key here, the scale of it all. This isn't some small boutique district we're talking about. Frisco ISD is the largest district in the entire state of Texas to pull off this A-rated three-peat. I mean, that is just a massive, massive accomplishment. So yeah, we're not just talking about a winning streak here. This is a three-peat of excellence. Let's dig into the details a little bit. Okay, so you see the stats. This level of performance, especially for a district with this kind of size and diversity, really puts Frisco into an elite category. But to truly get why this A is such a big deal, you first have to understand the pretty complex system that actually gives out these grades. So let's get into it. How exactly does the state of Texas even begin to grade more than 1,000 school districts? Well, the whole thing is built on something called the AF accountability system. Think of it as this huge data-driven machine that the Texas Education Agency built. Its one job, to spit out a single, clear grade for every single public school and district in the state. And when I say huge, I mean it. We're talking over 1,200 districts and 9,000 individual campuses, all getting graded on this A to F scale. But this year, oh man, this year, the release of those grades on August 15th was, well, let's just say it was anything but a sure thing. Yeah, for a little while there, it seriously looked like these grades might not come out at all. So what happened? Well, the entire system got hit with a major legal challenge. See, after a 2-year break because of COVID, the TEA decided to redesign how they calculate everything, and a lot of districts weren't happy. Over 120 of them actually filed a lawsuit to challenge those changes, and that just slammed the brakes on the whole release. It actually took a court ruling this past July to finally give the state the green light to publish these grades that everyone was waiting for. Okay, so with all that drama as the backstory, let's finally decode what it actually takes to get an A. It's not just about one simple score. It's a grade that's built on 4 totally distinct pillars. The whole state system is based on these 4 main areas: student achievement, school progress, closing the gaps, and then, the overall performance grade that ties it all together. And for Frisco to get that A, they had to crush it in all of them. All right, pillar number 1, student achievement. This is kind of the bedrock of the whole thing. It's basically asking, do the students know their stuff? It looks at scores from the state STAR tests, graduation rates, and whether students are ready for what's next, college, a career, or the military. Okay, now this next part is really important for understanding the difference between the first 2 pillars. Think of student achievement as a snapshot in time. It asks a simple question: did they pass the test? But school progress, well, that's the growth story. It asks a totally different, and you could argue, a more important question. Did these students actually improve from last year? This is what rewards schools for helping kids learn and grow no matter where they started from. And then we have pillar number 3, closing the gaps. This one is all about fairness and equity. The system basically slices up all the data to check if a district is doing a good job for all of its different groups of students. The bottom line is, you just can't get an A if certain kids are getting left behind. So it's pretty clear that Frisco ISD has totally figured out the state's system. But here's where it gets really interesting. For the district itself, the state's report card, it's not the only one they care about. See, the district has its own internal system for measuring success, called the Future Ready Framework. And it tracks all the stuff that standardized tests just can't measure, Things like critical thinking, teamwork, student leadership. The idea is to get a much fuller picture of what success looks like. And it seems like it's working, because the number of their schools getting an A from the state actually increased this year. And that confidence, it comes straight from the top. When one of the board members, Mr. Hill, was looking at their own local data, he just put it plainly: by every metric, we are leading. I mean, wow, that's a really powerful statement. And it shows you that what they're aiming for internally is matching up with the results they're getting from the state. So, as we wrap this up, what's the ultimate report card? What's the real big picture takeaway from all of Frisco's success? Well, for starters, getting a top grade like an A literally unlocks the door to get even more awards. Only the best districts are even in the running for these things called distinction designations. Think of them like bonus points for being awesome in specific areas. So, when you put all the pieces together, what does this A really mean? At the end of the day, that A is so much more than just a letter on a report card. It's proof, backed by tons of data, that this district is performing at a super high level and doing it consistently. It covers everything from test scores to making sure kids are growing year after year to being fair to all students, all while juggling the incredible complexity of being one of the biggest school systems in Texas. And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on. Frisco ISD has, without a doubt, mastered the state system. They've aced the test. But it does bring up a much bigger question for all of us, doesn't it? Is a system that takes all this incredible, complex work and boils it down to a single letter, is that really the best way to measure something as important and as human as a child's education? Definitely something to think about.